So this is gonna be a video. I started messing around with raycasting again. I did like 2 years ago, and the performance was really bad. And I decided to start with raycasting again. And for some reason, I don't know what I changed because I rewrote the raycaster. For some reason, the performance is much better. So I wrote this in like one evening, so the code is really disgusting. I don't really know if you wanna like look at the code. I mean, it is like, look at these fucking ifs and else ifs. It's really bad. I guess you can pause the video and read if you want. But yeah, so it's the code's disgusting and it needs to get cleaned up, but whatever. So the way it works is that I've written it now is it actually reads a map file, which is just a text document here, and you can see the map, and you can see the numbers at the start are the player X, Y, and angle that the player starts. So we're gonna start like down here somewhere, right? I've also added floors and ceilings. So the way we do it is I just cut the map and then pipe that into the raycaster. And so when it starts, it's a very small window, and it's still called SDL tutorial because I was brushing up on SDL again, and so I didn't know how to create a window, and this is how they told me to create a window. So I've added mouse movement, right? So I can like shake the mouse around, and this was a fucking pain in the ass because this is running inside a virtual machine, and I'm using VirtualBox, and VirtualBox has a feature called mouse integration, and if this feature is turned on, it just fucks up SDL's relative mouse mode. It just does not work. Instead of getting a signed 32-bit integer, you seem to get an unsigned 16-bit integer. It's very close, but it might be a coincidence. Anyhow, so I added mouse movement that you can control with WASD. I've also added a bit of slidiness. So before, if you would try to walk forward here, you couldn't, because straight ahead of you is in fact a wall. But now instead you'll like kind of slide along the wall. It has a bit of unintended side effects, right? In that you can kind of clip corners like that. But whatever. I haven't added texturing because texturing is a pain in the ass. I don't really know how to do it. I know that I need to, instead of reading, because right now I'm just telling, the caster is just telling me how far away the wall is when I hit it. And I instead need to say exactly where on the wall I've hit, instead of just saying that I hit the wall. This isn't too bad, right? This I can return that information as well, because the program knows it, right? It knows the position and it calculates the distance. Actually, it doesn't. It knows the distance, but it will also know when it hits the wall. But the problem is I need to put in like a way to draw a strip from a texture based on that position, and also stretch that texture in the X and Y, in the Y direction, because you can see the wall close to me is very large and the wall far away from me is very small. Possibly SDL has features to stretch rectangles that are filled with a texture. I don't know. I haven't messed around with SDL textures very much, which is why everything is just like a pure color. Also, I've added floor and ceiling. The floor and ceiling just draws first, and with a gradient. So you can see here that the gradient starts up bright, close to the top and bottom edge, and then they fade and become darker further away. And then the walls are just drawn on top of that. The game, it's running at 60 FPS, so that's very good. I don't know, this video will probably upload it in 24 or whatever, but the game's running at 60 FPS. Which is way better than what it used to run at, because it used to run at, like, if it had to draw for a very long distance, it would fuck up, right? It would go so slow, and I don't know what I've changed. I'm still using a really inefficient raycaster, which is a fixed step size raycaster, so it couldn't have been that. This is running inside a virtual machine, so it's very low powered. Then again, Wolfenstein ran on like a 286 or something, so maybe I shouldn't be too amazed that this actually works. But yeah, no, it's very nice. I want to add textures. Obviously, I think that would do a lot to make it look better. And then, maybe I could add some enemies and some shooting. We'll see if I ever do that. I'm more interested in the 3D rendering aspect than in any like gameplay aspects. But I think textures would count for the 3D rendering aspect. The enemies and stuff like that is very easy to add because they'll just be flat textures that will turn to face the player and move around. And this is essentially all roguelike logic. And roguelike logic, I already know how to make because I've done roguelikes before. So this will be no problem. But yeah, so this is my Raycaster. I didn't use a tutorial for this one, so the code, like I said, is probably shit. Well, I used a tutorial for SDL, but I didn't use a tutorial for Raycasting. So yeah, we'll see if I add anything more to this or if this is going to be how the project ends up, because I would have to clean up the code, and cleaning up code is fun for about 50 lines. That's roughly when my patience for cleaning up code runs out. But yeah. But anyway, so this is my Raycaster version 2. I guess I could call this one C plus SDL Raycasting Test 2 or something. And the performance is actually good. I don't know why. Thank you for watching my video. And I think that's gonna be it for me.